Okay, well, what have we come up with? The ring is dried. I have to put it in the lathe and true it up yet. And I was going through some different ideas. And this is the one my wife likes best. So this is what we're going to go with. It'll be 11 inches in diameter, 4 inches tall, with a 2 3/4 inch base, a floating base. I plugged the numbers into Numbers, which is a spreadsheet on an Apple, and it gave me my cut list. So next, we're going to cut out the pieces for the base. Start that first, and then while I'm at it, I'll rip all the pieces, the width for the side pieces, and we'll start cutting out the rings. We get the rings, we'll start gluing it together. So I'll show you at the next stage. Okay, we have the base ring done. Walnut insert. Next thing we're going to do is I have a 4-inch piece of plywood cut out on the bandsaw, 2.5-inch faceplate with the centering tool. We're going to glue these little blocks on here so I can keep this centered, and then we're going to glue that to the base. Okay, I have that screwed fast to a piece of plywood. Put it in the lathe, make sure this edge is perfectly flat, perfectly round. Mark from the center to this. Do that line on there. And now we'll place this here, and we'll glue little blocks to it to make sure that it doesn't move while we install it. Won't forget to put the paper in this time, and we'll put it in the clamp and we'll squeeze it. Okay, this time I covered the walnut with blue painter's tape. Now we'll put some glue on here, put the paper on, put a little more glue, and stick on the plywood. I'll show you that when I finish it. Okay, it's in the clamp. We'll leave that set 10-15 minutes. Then I'll knock these little blocks off and clean up that excess glue. And we'll leave it at least an hour or so, and we can add the next ring. Now, since this has such a steep curve, this line is the inside diameter of the next ring. So I'm going to take the majority, rough cut this, and take the majority of this out while it's very easy to get at. I'll do that with each ring till we get to the top. I have the yoke cut away from the inside of this ring. Now, I haven't made up my mind to attach the bolt to this side or to cut the ring loose and use this side. I haven't made up my mind yet. I might even do it with the one-way revolving center. I think I'll try that first. If I don't like it, we'll come up with something else. Okay, I have the ring on the one-way center, and the bowl in the lathe. I guess I could glue that up and clamp it just as is, but what I'm going to do is, as you see, there's not much of an edge there, but every place you see an X, here, here, this is my alignment mark. I'm going to take one of these little blocks, and I'm going to hot melt glue it every place there's an X. Then it can't move, so I'll take it out of the lathe and put it in the clamping device. So when I get it in the clamping device and all glued up, I'll show it to you. I have to keep the brown ring on top so the glue doesn't run down in between these little cracks. So I'll show that to you, and we'll leave it dry overnight, and tomorrow we should be able to turn off the I think I'll turn the outside while I got a good hold here, and then we'll turn the MDF off and finish the bowl. Okay, it's in the clamp. We got our alignment mark lined up. I'll leave that about an hour, and I'll relieve the pressure, but I'll leave it set overnight, and tomorrow we'll turn the outside rough, and then we'll cut the MDF off and finish the bowl. Outside's roughed in, so now we'll cut the MDF off the top of the bowl and start roughing in the inside. The bowl's turned, so all I have to do is sand it. .99 slats. I'll have to count up the pieces when I'm done. So I'll sand it. When I'm all finished sanding it, I'll show it to you. Then we'll put sanding sealer on it. A couple of coats. And we'll leave it dry till tomorrow, and we'll put the finish on. Okay, the bowl's been sanded. And next, the diameter down here is about 3 1/4 inches. So what I'm going to try and do is cut this away and get this down to at least 2 3/4. Let's see how that works out. Okay, I got the base turned down to about 2 3/4, and I don't really want to go much smaller than that, or it's going to fall over, want to rock over all the time. So next thing I'll do is to put sanding sealer on it. Okay, that's the first coat of sanding sealer. There's no sense in showing much more until I put the finish on. So I'll show it to you once the finish is on, and then we'll have to knock off the bottom. Sanding sealer on there, sanded between coats. Now we're going to try some spray on polyurethane. look good at all. So I'm gonna have to leave that dry and then sand that all off and start from scratch. Okay, I don't like the looks of this at all. I tried sanding that a little bit. Now you see the sanding marks in there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this dry another couple hours, and I'm just going to sand it all off and start from scratch. All that work and then have the finish screwed up. That's not cool. So that's what I'm going to do. Let that dry real good and sand it all back down and start over. Okay, I sanded the finish completely off and started from scratch. This time I put lacquer on it. Now we're going to knock this bottom off. There's our blue tape. So I'll mount this into coal jaws, turn this bottom, fill this tape out of here, put a finish on the bottom. Okay, there it is in the lathe. I will turn this paper off, flatten this off, create a little ridge, take this paper out, sand it, and put a finish on it. Okay. All is finished and signed. There's our original plan. There's the ball. So I think we can consider this one finished. Now if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't have used this color wood at the base. But it was an experiment. I hope you like it. And I thank you for watching.